Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Charlene Chirk. Welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us today from Detroit, Michigan is Jamilah Jackson with Jaxon Strategies. Jamilah, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Hello, thank you for having me, Charlene.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So tell us what you're strategizing away at over there at Jaxon Strategies.
So, Jaxon Strategies is a boutique social media management firm here in Detroit, Michigan, where we focus on custom tailoring strategies for business owners and creatives to manage their social media. Everybody hates to manage their social media, whether it's for their business, they're an influencer, just coming up with the creative content and coming up with ways to, build their engagement, their following, and their reach. And that's kind of what Jaxon Strategy does for our clientele.
And I noticed on one of the services that you offer, it's influencer brand ambassador marketing. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that seems to really be growing and becoming more popular. And people are either looking to hire good influencers or looking for somebody to manage their influencers.
Absolutely. Back in the day, people would call it a spokesperson. But with the internet and the way it has grown, especially with social media platforms, everyday people can be a spokesperson. So whether you have 1,000 followers to 1 billion followers, anyone can kind of be an influencer these days. And so it's just making sure that our clients can find influencers on a local or a national level that align with their brand, that can create content that is of high quality. And so what we do is we find those influencers so that they can, really help the companies grow. And then once we find those influencers, we kind of just manage the expectations from the influencer's perspective as far as compensation and parameters for how the content should look. And then from the business perspective, making sure that their products or their services are accurately depicted in the content.
What's the biggest challenge you face in that arena?
Um, the biggest challenge I think is just finding the influencers that align with business owners' brands. There is a wide range again of who can be an influencer. You have your nano influencers, your micro influencers, and so just making sure that one, the influencers align with the brand and their brand aesthetic and their brand story, but also making sure that the business can afford certain influencers. We want to make sure we're paying our content creators what they're worth, but sometimes those budgets can be very big.
Budget is always a challenge. So, other than the influencer, which we know is really evolving and growing, and then a whole side business is being created for organizations like yours in terms of managing those influencers and managing those expectations and ensuring that the brand is being delivered to the client. What else are you seeing out in the digital marketing space? We've had a lot of issues, or I should say issues, changes with cookies and privacy and things of that nature. So what are you keeping your eye on that's evolving in the next year to 2 years that might impact you or your clients?
I think one of the biggest things that I have been keeping my eye on is just the change in what content is being pushed. So, for example, I primarily work with Instagram when it comes to my clients, and we all know that landscape is ever changing. When the platform started, it was just a place to share photos, but now it's becoming very video based, very heavy on the video. So just making sure that we're keeping an eye on what Instagram is really pushing, whether it's short form videos, long form videos. Does your video need text in it? Do you need to have voiceover? And just really keeping track of some of those trending audios that you are seeing.
Jamilah, that is great advice. And on that note, I'm going to ask you, with the 30 seconds we've got left, what's your biggest tip out there? If I run into you in a cocktail party and I find out what you do and I'm fascinated because you sound extremely knowledgeable, and I say, Jamilah, what is your best tip that you can give me? What would it be?
The best tip I can give anyone is to always show up as yourself. Authenticity goes an extremely long way when you're building your audience and your customer base. So show up as you, have fun, and don't really sweat the numbers. They'll come.
Oh, I love it. Don't sweat the numbers. They will come. You build it, they will come. Well, Jamilah Jackson, thank you so much for joining us from Jaxon Strategies. We really appreciate you dropping so much knowledge on us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Charlene.
It's our pleasure. If you'd like to learn more about what Jamilah is doing over there at Jaxon Strategies, you can check her out first by going to dailyadbrief.com. Well, I'm your host, Charlene Shirk. Thanks so much for sticking around with us here on Digital Champions. We got some great insight for you. And as always, we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.